Alright, so yeah, we are just working on professions today. I don't really know, like, we do go through a lot of, healing potions when we're fighting, whatever we're fighting, whether we're doing PvP or PvE. So I'm going to, trying to, like, upgrade the potions that I can actually craft, which are better than the ones I'm buying off the vendors. So... Also, this is a really good spot because I'm farming a specific materials here, but there's also the Raya or nearby, which I also need. So this is actually a really good spot for me for a little bit of farming. You know what we haven't tried to do, but I think it might hurt my ping. But let's, you guys know I love to use reshade. Let's go ahead and try, what's the most recent one? Let's try this one. Let's build, 1 second. Let's download the latest version of reshade. Reshade.me. Okay, download. That is 6.6. Download 6.62. Right. And what we're gonna do, let's go to Task Manager. Let's go ahead and get our open file location. Okay. Back. Copy this. Let's go back to reshade. Let's go browse. Okay, Aion 2. Next. And yes. And I'm gonna guess. I don't even know what's X of this. I don't know if this may. The only thing I'm worried about with using reshade is I don't know if Aion will see it as like there's whatever shit they got going on might see it as like some sort of a hack or something. I don't know, but we'll try it. If they do see it as a hack, we'll just remove it. We only need a few things. It's been a long time since I set up reshade. Let's find out. This is gonna be really. I was really hesitant to try to use reshade for Aion 2. Actually, very hesitant to use reshade for Aion 2. But there is quite a bit of blur in Aion 2, and adding a little bit of sharpness could make the game look quite a bit better. But I mean, we're pinging like pretty shitty, so it may hurt our ping a little bit, possibly. Yeah, we're pinging 180 currently. Guess we'll find out. We shall see. I don't know how long I can stream today. My wife is at the hospital with her mom. I don't know if she wants me to drive up there. She probably does, but I'm really tired. Verifying purple version. Oh yeah, hey, reshape. Okay, reshape picked up. We're actually interesting. Alright, so now it didn't work. You can see that it completely crashed Aion, which doesn't surprise me because NCSoft is so aggressive. They are so aggressive with everything around their games and anything that's coming through the pipeline. So it doesn't surprise me that that it just said, fuck you, no, we're not going to allow you to do that. So, which is, I hope I didn't. Let's go ahead and run it. We're going to uninstall. Next. Browse. And we're going to say boom, and we're going to say next. And we're going to next uninstall. Finish. And we're going to go in here. We're going to get rid of anything to do with reshade. Alright. We're going to close. It was worth a shot. It was worth a shot. Oh man, I hope I didn't flag myself for like, oh my god, he's hacking. I doubt it. It probably just... What happened was it modifies one of the DLLs and puts like an injection in there. And they scanned the DLL probably and saw the file size. Or something about it was different and said, you know what, screw you. Let's just hope they don't flag my account as, oh my god, he's hacking. I don't think a one-time thing will do that. I think it's more of a consistent. Guess we'll find out. Anyways, Saturday. So, we've got a lot of... I think it's something I'd like to talk about today. I don't know if anybody's even going to show up for the stream, but it's really just the next gen MMOs. We don't have... I mean, MMOs have been in a rut for so long, and there's no like real like what I would consider like a next gen MMO because they're just rehashing the same systems over and over again. Like this game, like there's nothing in Aion 2 that's new. Like, nothing about Aion 2 is like, oh, this is groundbreaking or there's anything new in this game. It's your typical NCSoft game. If you've ever played like Throne of Liberty, if you ever played Aion 1, if you ever played Lineage 2, there's going to be a lot of systems that feel pretty, that feel pretty similar. You know. So there's nothing really like groundbreaking. And one of the things about this game is and one of my concerns about this game, really, I wonder if we can change the settings in the graphics as far as like the brightness and stuff. Let's go to graphics, optimize camera direction. 43. I don't think we can change quality. It doesn't look like we can. Shadow quality. I haven't tried modifying my settings, like to get like better post-processing quality, to get like a better ping or get better performance. I mean, really, honestly, the game runs fairly well. I mean, for considering that I'm running it from Florida in the United States, it runs pretty well. Everybody's having to there are a lot of people farming herbs today. But the one biggest concern I have with this game is really, and even somebody in the Discord actually mentioned already today, is that it feels like the game's all about gear score. Like, and I've kind of been one of the big things I've talked about lately for MMOs is that I want to get away from gear being the main. I want to get away from gear being the primary source of progression, right? Like, I don't want to be like, I mean, gear's cool, and everybody wants to have gear that looks cool. Everyone wants gear that's powerful. There's no doubt, right? No doubt. But we need to come up with an MMO that has a lot of other systems that aren't intrusive. I don't want systems to feel intrusive. I don't want to feel like in this game, like we have a website, right? Man, I'm going to be, and this is the way I am when I talk about stuff. I'm kind of all over the place. But if we go to my Discord here and we look at Aion 2 resources, there's a website here, right? Which shows kind of like, when the Shugo Festival events start, when the Rift spawns start, weekly maintenance. So, there's some interesting, information. And it's not perfectly accurate, though, unfortunately. At least I haven't seen this to be perfectly accurate. But my point is, there's also like these kind of like boss events or world kind of boss events as well. And they'll flag, they'll show up on the map, and you'll get like a notification saying some rift is opened or something, and you can go there. And so the game feels a little bit too repetitive, I guess. But I hate to say that because all MMOs are repetitive. Like, I mean, any video game is repetitive. That's why it's called a game loop, right? When you program a video game, you have a game loop, and the game loop is, what is the player doing? They're doing this, and you have to have something that loops, that's cyclical, because it has to be able to be done forever, right? Like, unless it's a game that has a beginning and an end, like a story-based game, right? But a game like an MMO doesn't have a beginning and an end typically. You should be able to just go in and play it as forever, really. As long as the servers are up and there's people in there to play with, you can play an MMO forever. So it's going to be repetitive. But I think we need to get away from MMOs being so much based on just gear. Like, oh, gear. Like, everything's about gear. Like, you look at this game, and, you look at my gear score, 1446, and if I go into PvP, like, and someone else has a gear score of, like, 1800, I mean, there's really no chance. I'm not going to kill somebody with that. I mean, I could be wrong, but in general in this game, if you don't have good gear, you don't have much of a chance against someone who does have good gear. And that's the case in a lot of MMOs, but there are MMOs that's a little different. And my favorite MMO as far as like PvP, one of my favorite PvP MMOs, as far as allowing the skill of the player to actually play a big role in how the outcome of PvP is determined, was Terra. Like in Terra, I could be like a level 20 warrior in Terra and be in the open world and have like 2 level 30 characters attack me, and I could literally, if they weren't great players, right, I could literally outplay them and kill them both. And they were both like 10 levels higher than me. So I could actually do that. It would be very difficult, but it's possible. In a lot of games, that's just completely not possible. World of Warcraft, good luck. I mean, you could do it in WoW, but if you have like totally twinked, but you can definitely do it. But it's not easy. And in this game, I can't really see that happening, So the gear, like, it just feels like, the outplay potential isn't really big in this game. I could be wrong though, because I haven't done really much PvP, so I could be 100% wrong. But just on the surface, it looks like I don't really see the way these systems work in PvP. That there's just like huge outplay potential. But I could be wrong. We'll have to wait and see. But there's nothing about Aion 2 that's unique or groundbreaking or next gen. I think the best thing for me with Aion 2 is just the world is really beautiful. I mean, it's amazing graphically. And it's huge. I mean, it's just absolutely, it's massive. It's a very big world. I really miss the fact that they took away so many of the profession levels, like from Aion 1. And Aion 1, you had like 8 different ranks of like profession levels to go through. Like if you were gathering, it was like gathering rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, there was a bunch. Like in this, there's like really just 2, I think. There's like the basic one, and I think maybe the professional one or something. But you'll max out your gathering like really quickly, like super quickly, way before you ever hit max level. If you're doing any kind of gathering, you're gonna max out your gathering skill, which I'm not really happy about that. I don't. It seemed like a really lazy. I think they tried to take away the grind of. They've tried to remove some of the grind of the game, you know, like. It's pretty easy to get gear up in this game. I mean, but again, it's very repetitive. Like, you know, Whelps does a really good video on how to gear up. If you haven't seen it, it's actually this is any player who plays Aion 2 who doesn't know about how to like gear. I should watch this video. You know, how to gear score from 0 to 2400 by the Whelps. This is a fantastic video, and it'll give you a really good idea of how to play. And so then these Shugo events happen all the time, and you can go in, and I'm not a big fan. I mean, they're, and the thing is that when the server's really crowded and a lot of people are in the events, and with a ping, like if you're like with me with like a 180 ping, it's very difficult to compete against other people that have really high pings, or people that have really good gear too, because some of the events require you to kill stuff or to hit stuff. Like the treasure one, for example. I'm assuming, I could be wrong, but I'm assuming that someone with really high gear score wouldn't have to hit the chest very much to break them open. I could be wrong though. It could be normalized in effect, in a way that everybody has to hit the same amount to break the chest open. So I just don't know. I just know that when I do the Shugo events, I'm always at the bottom of the list. Like, it's very difficult for me to, if I do well in a Shugo event, I'll usually be in the middle of the pack. I've never topped a Shugo events. I guess I just suck at the events, but mini games are not something I enjoy in MMOs. I think mini games in general are, in my mind, are kind of stupid. To me, an MMO should be based around an open world fantasy experience. Like I look at an MMO like Dungeons and Dragons. I want it to be all about exploration and like like Lord of the Rings or something. I want to go in there and see really cool stories, and I want to attack monsters, and I want to find like treasure and. I don't care. I mean, I'm not going into. You don't go into Lord of the Rings and say, "Hey, I'm going to go to a pub and play cards or something." I mean, I guess you could, and but I mean, these Shugo games don't really, to me, don't make a lot of sense, right? Like when I go into this and I do like a Mario Kart style mysterious track. I mean, to me, that's not an MMO. I don't. This does not appeal to me on any level. Hidden Luigi, I could give a rat's ass about fucking Hidden Luigi or Jump or Not This Tile. I mean, these games to me are they're just time sinks. They're just a way for them to put some other system in the game that gives people something to do. I would rather see them put time, instead of putting all the development time to create these stupid mini games, I would rather see them put time into creating more encounters, more dungeons, more content. More storylines, more like interesting story. Maybe put in better AI for enemies. There's a lot more things they could spend their time on. But that's just me. Yeah, it's just me. I think when it comes to MMOs, I'm probably in a very small segment. Like the way I want an MMO to play is probably not going to be the way most people would want the MMO to play. You know what I mean? So. Let's just go here real quick and see if we can grab some herbs. I do need the Araya. Yeah, but I mean, to me, this game is, it's hard. It's very much like an Eastern MMO. Like, the one thing I've learned about Eastern MMOs is they always have tons of RNG, right? Tons of like Lost Ark, Lineage 2, Aion 1, Aion 2. I don't really know if I don't remember if Arcade had the enchanting system like this. I don't think so. Even Terra, really, if you think about it, even Terra had like kind of a, you know, an enchanting system. You know, where you get materials, you enchant, it can fail, it can succeed. Of course, in Lineage 2, it was brutal because if your enchant failed at high level, your weapon, I think, would break, if I remember correctly. It's been so long since I played Lineage 2. So it was more brutal. Like, in here, your weapon's not going to break. If the enchant fails, it fails. Now, there are the runes, or whatever they're called, there are these certain other items that when the enchant fails, you know, the item does get destroyed. Which is kind of, I don't know. To me, again, to me, I would rather revolve the gameplay around immersion. The thing that I see with games like Aion 2 is it's not immersive. This is not an immersive MMO. And when I say immersive MMO, I want the game systems. Like, again, I really harken back to Dungeons & Dragons, or if you think of like Lord of the Rings or something, you don't go into Lord of the Rings and play a mini game. You don't do some Wrath Chase or Luigi Kart. You don't do that, right? Like, you're going through the world, you're exploring Lothlorien, or you're exploring you know, the woods, you know, some sort of woods or some sort of scary spiders. You know, it's like you should be traveling through the world, and it should be dangerous. It should be scary. Like, when you walk through most MMOs, they're not scary. Like, when I walk through Ion 2 and I move through these zones, in fact, most of these monsters aren't even aggressive, which I don't really agree with. You know, I think they should be aggressive. I don't know why they're not. I guess if they want people to, if they were aggressive, it'd be easier for maybe people to pull faster, and maybe that would be bad. I don't know. So I'm not sure what the thought process is on that. But the world should be dangerous, and there should be more like dynamic events. We do have some dynamic events that things pop up, and the teleporting is a little bit over the top. Like, it's kind of like Skyrim. You know, you have all these little like blue things on the map with the wings, you know, the winged Deva, and you can teleport. I can click on any of these and teleport, you know, right here. And it's a little crazy. I mean, there's so many of them. And I kind of like Black Desert a lot better. I think Black Desert does a much better job of this, because in Black Desert, if you want to travel, a lot of times you just have to go there. You have to get on a mountain and go. Like, which I like. You know, I like more of that. You know, I like having to actually get on my mount and go somewhere. It just feels more immersive. And also makes your decisions, it makes what you're doing take a little bit more thought. You have to kind of plan out your day. It's like, okay, today I'm going to go here. I'm going to do this. Maybe I'm going to farm this, or I'm going to work on, you know, I'm going to work on my get crafting or something, or I'm going to work on building my ship today. You know what I mean? I feel like I like that a little bit better. Whereas here, I can just change what I want to do on a moment's notice. Oh, I'm going to teleport here and do something. Oh, I'll teleport here. And then it feels very fragmented, because like the events pop up, like, oh, the Shugo Festival pops up. It feels like I can't just get into like a groove where I'm just doing one thing. I mean, you can if you want. You don't have to do these events, right? But if you don't do them, you're kind of missing out. One of the things that's really interesting is in Aion 1, you spent an excessive amount of time gathering, and I can't remember what it's called now, because in here it's called Odile, right? Aether, right? See here, this. Like in Aion 1, you spent an excessive amount of time flying up to these things and gathering these, right? Like in Aion 2, I hardly ever hit one of these like I'm doing now. And the reason I don't do that is because there's events like the Shugo Festival events that when you do those, you get Odile, right? And pretty much most of the events you're going to get Odile. So it's a lot easier and more efficient to get Odile by doing the events than it is by gathering, because gathering is very slow. So that's interesting. I don't know if it's good or bad. I mean, it's kind of good because, I mean, I don't know. It's just so different than Aion 1, I guess. And I was just talking to Lucky RO or whatever, that streamer, and I was kind of saying how I'm not a fan of RNG enchant type systems, and he was saying that he likes it because it gives you this dopamine effect of, right? Like this kind of dopamine effect of like, oh, it succeeded or it didn't succeed, And I guess from a stream point of view, it's good for people watching the stream, and you're like, you pull up your gear, and like for example, this Clash rune, right? Like if I go in here and I enchant this, I've only got a 66% chance that it succeeds, right? Do I have any more runes on me? I have a bunch. So let's say I go in here and I say, oh, I want to enchant this, right? Cost 19,000, and it actually succeeded, right? You know, it succeeded, which is the first time I think I've ever succeeded on a 66% chance on a rune. By the way, they always fail on me usually. Yeah, that's what I said to him. Hey, what's up, boss? And that's what I said to him. I said, and actually, I might pull up the kind of the chat, kind of show it to you, like what I said to this guy. Hold on a second, let me grab this. Yeah, I actually akined it to I likened it to an gambling addiction. I said, well, if you want like a dopamine effect for doing enchanting in an MMO, I go that's like going to Vegas and playing blackjack or something. I go that's not a good thing. To me, I don't see that as a good thing, right? Let's see if we can find that real quick. If we go in here, because I had the discussion with him earlier, right? Why does this not work? Oh, here, here. No. Maybe I'm on the wrong server. I think I'm on the wrong server. Hold on a second. Yeah, I think it was here. Right here. So if you look here, a lucky RO, right? Google me. I said RNG is such a cop out. Time, money, sink in MMO. I said NCSoft is good at cop outs, right? Because like, here's someone who posted saying yesterday I failed 12 times trying to do something, right? Look, yesterday I failed 12 times on something and 6 times on the PvP one, right? And then I said to that, I said RNG is such a cop out. It's a time money sink. It like makes people spend tons of money to constantly try to enchant something. And it's also, and then he replies, says, yes, but it's dopamine and it's so addictive. And he no RNG games are boring. I disagree with this. I don't find, like to me, if you need enchanting an item that has a chance to fail to be a dopamine hit, in my mind, you're looking at a game completely from the wrong perspective, right? Like that's a stupid, in my opinion, that's a very stupid way to enjoy a video game. A game shouldn't be addictive because you're pressing a button and waiting for some sort of RNG system to tell you. It should be based, again, and I talk about this all the time. The most important thing to me, I'm not going to say for everybody, but to me, the most important thing is immersion and is like feeling like the world is a fantasy world I can go into and experience that takes me away from the real world, because the real world we live in fucking sucks. Okay? Let's be honest. You think I want to get up and go to work every day? Fuck no. You think I want to pay bills? Fuck no. Right? You think I want to sit here and deal with the dumb shit motherfuckers in Florida? Fuck no. I fucking hate these people. Right? So I play an MMO because I want to go into a world that's more akin to a world I would want to live in. Right? And an MMO should have systems that reward you for learning, okay, for learning the game, for learning like how to play your character, not from and there's no learning to pressing in a button that enchants your gear from +3 to +4. There's no learning there. There's nothing about learning anything. There's no skill requirement. It doesn't take any skill to press a fucking button and hope that it succeeds. It's completely out of your hands. So to sit there and say that, yes, it's dopamine, it's addictive, it's great. To sit there and say that, you're playing a game for all the wrong reasons, again, in my opinion. But again, people can do whatever they want. If that's how they want to play a game and it's fun for them, fine. Do your thing. Live your best life. But for me, that ain't it, man. That ain't fucking it, right? One of the coolest things about World of Warcraft, and we don't see this in it, and how many MMOs, like when I level up in World of Warcraft, it takes a long time to level from 1 to 60, right? And I'm a slow leveler because I like to take my time, and that's just the way I am. I'm very methodical. But one of the things that I always look forward to in Vanilla WoW is getting high enough level so I can go into Blackrock Depths. And it's not because I'm going into Blackrock Depths because I want gear. That's not why. It's because I love Blackrock Depths. I love the layout. I love the concrete and the stone and the fact that I'm going underground. It reminds me of going into the mines of Moria and Lord of the Rings or something. It's very immersive. It's incredibly immersive, right? Like when you walk down in there and you're seeing all these like dwarves and shit, it just feels like another world. And that's what's so good about it. And there's so few MMOs that make me feel like that. I don't play Aion 2 and say, oh, I can't wait to go into this dungeon. Like, I'm only going into the dungeon because it's just like, it's an RNG thing. It's like I'm running the same fucking shit over and over again, only because I'm hoping to get maybe some sort of item, some sort of gear item. But I'm not running it because it's super fun. Oh, this is fun. It feels completely repetitive. It feels completely boring, right? Yeah, it's just completely boring. So it's like... Yeah, but this guy's like, oh, it's so addictive. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I said, not sure I agree with you. Don't need a dopamine fix. Here's what I said. Don't need a dopamine fix. That is more akin to gambling. MMOs should be about skill and knowledge and challenges you overcome with friends that create satisfaction, not stupid RNG hits of dopamine. And I said, go fucking play slots or something at Vegas if you need that crap. You know what I mean? Because honestly, it's the same as like going to a slot machine, putting in a quarter or a dollar or whatever, and pulling the lever and hoping something good happens. You know, that's all that is. It's just complete. I mean, it's like, what the fuck? To me, that's such a low brain mentality. That's like so low brain. You know, and that's what our world has come to. I'll say that's what our world's come to. I had a long conversation with a coworker yesterday, right? Because my wife's sister is a fucking piece of shit, and she couldn't go to the hospital to visit her mom, who could be dying in the hospital, because she said she needed to go home and make dinner for her daughter, who's 16. I'm like, your daughter's fucking 16 and she can't make herself something to eat, right? I'm like, are you kidding me? What world is this? You know? Holy shit, man! She can't like fucking kick some soup or fucking take out a loaf of bread and maybe put some fucking salami on it and eat it. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't believe it. And then my coworker told me, because he's younger than I am. He goes, Julian, he goes, he goes, I'm not surprised. He goes, parents don't raise their kids today, like they used to. They don't teach kids how to be self-sufficient. They don't teach kids how to take care of themselves, how to make their own food, how to do the laundry, how to do the dishes. This girl's like fucking 16. She doesn't even have a driver's license. I mean, when I was in high school and you hit 15, you could get your driving permit. Everybody wanted to get their driver's license like fucking ASAP. Like you weren't sitting around being like, like procrastinating, Well, and that's I can't blame parents for working, because our society unfortunately has become so expensive. Like, it's much more difficult for families to live the way they want to on a single salary. It's very difficult, and so I can't really blame parents for having to work, but there's still no excuse for not teaching your kids how to fucking make food. I mean, come on. When I was 13 or 14, yeah, I know. I just got a notification from YouTube saying that I'm not receiving enough data or some shit. Let me check my internet connection and see if it's my internet. Usually when this happens, it's YouTube. Yeah, it's not my internet. I'm getting the gig down, and yeah, my upload speed is a little slower than normal, so it could be my internet. But let me do something here really quick. I'm going to close down. Oh shit! I should have saved that, but that's okay. Let me just make sure I don't have any useless things open. Yeah, it looks like my upload speed is a little slower than normal. Let me try it again. It's just too many people online right now. It's busy, you know. Fuck, I need to. Yeah, it's not good. It is not good. Yeah, my internet right now is sucking. So yeah, my internet's really shitty right now for some reason. So I may upgrade to fiber optic. Oh man, it's real. I'm really having some internet issues right now. Like, yeah, it's not good. So I apologize. Normally I don't have issues with my internet, but right now for some reason my internet's is the shit. It's crap. But by the time I was 13 or 14, I knew how to make coffee. I knew how to do the dishes, to do the laundry. I knew how to drive a car. I knew how to make my own food. By the time I was 13 or 14, my mom didn't have to do that shit. She didn't have to do anything. The other thing that surprises me is she's got this daughter who's 16. Her daughter has like older siblings, and if your parents can't teach you, your fucking siblings should, right? Like she's got a sister who's like 23, and she's got another sister who's like 18. I mean, come on. I just can't understand that you're telling me you can't go to the hospital to visit your mom who's probably dying because you need to go home and make. And here's what's so sad, Valstay. I'm sitting at the hospital. I'm sitting at the hospital with my wife, and my wife's sister's there. And my wife's sister, what is she doing while we're waiting? We're waiting in like a room so we can see her mom. Her sister's on the phone. What's she doing on the phone? She's on like Uber Eats or something, like ordering food for her kid, like ordering her food, right? And then she complains like the next day that if she has to like take time off of work to take care of her mom, that she's not making money and she can't afford to pay the bills or some shit. I'm like, oh, you can't afford to pay the bills, but you can afford to order out food for your daughter. I'm like, that's a good way to spend your money. Ordering fucking Chick-fil-A garbage food, like super unhealthy crap, right? So don't give me that shit. Don't tell me you don't have money to pay the bills when you're fucking ordering out food like all the time for your fucking kids because they don't know how to fucking make a sandwich. I mean, this is just like bad parenting of the worst kind, right? It's just unbelievable. Anyway, sorry, my internet right now is really sucking. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's really shitty right now. I don't know, man. Let me check my speed. It's been a while since Okay, it looks like my speed's yeah, it's just all over the place right now. It's like up, it's down, I don't know. It's very inconsistent right now. Yeah, it's just all over the place, dude. It's really bad. And you know me, normally my internet's pretty good. My internet doesn't usually buffer hardly ever, so this is kind of unusual.